Hello there, welcome to Cool Talk Talks. Last night was the Oscars, but who cares about the Oscars? Everybody's talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, and I wanted to throw in my 2 cents and what I thought about the whole thing. First of all, there's no excuse for what Will Smith did, but I will throw in an explanation as to why I think it happened. Let's go back a little bit. Will Smith has had quite a year in the sense that it's kind of been his best year and his worst year. I mean, of course, King Richard, he's won several awards before winning the Oscar last night. So he's on a roll. Outside of that, though, he put out a book where he let out his demons and stated several things of how he is ashamed of how he cowered when his father would beat up his mother. And at a very young age, when he was a kid, he's ashamed that he didn't defend her, and he witnessed this. Also, it came to light that a couple of years ago, Will Smith and Jada were apparently separated, they say. And around that time, she got involved sexually with their son's best friend. Now, what puzzles me is that Will Smith appeared at her round table, giving her a forum to explain her side of things. Now, most men would say, heck no. I mean, they'll argue the point, they'll leave her, work it out if they decide to work it out. I don't know. My idea of the whole thing is that the open relationship that they've been saying they have had for the last several years is mostly her idea. I could be wrong, but it seems that way. A lot of people look at Will Smith as kind of a lapdog. He'll be doing whatever his wife says. One item that puzzles me greatly is the fact that their daughter wrote a letter to Tupac. Tupac, who's been dead for several years. If you know that Tupac used to date Jada. And Tupac was a love of her life. If things were the way they were, he would not have died and Jada would have married Tupac. And Will Smith, in the book he wrote, actually makes reference to this and says things like that perhaps he has to work hard to be the better man to work through this and compete against this ghost. But the fact that their daughter wrote a letter to dead Tupac stating things that in another life he could have been her daddy or something like that, I mean, I would have been livid. So I don't know what's going through Will Smith's mind. Sort of like Will Smith doesn't realize that he's Will Smith. Okay, so saying all of that, we come to last night, the Oscars. Chris Rock made a couple of jokes, and the joke in essence was that Jada Smith, Will Smith's wife, was sitting there. Her head is shaved. And Chris Rock said something along the lines of, I love you, Jada. Hey, G.I. Jane 2. I can't wait. And that was pretty much it. Now, the joke could have been in very, very bad taste if Chris Rock knew that she suffers a condition, I think it's called acropacia, somebody said, where her hair falls out in patches. So rather than deal with it and get extensions and all of that, Jada Smith decided just to shave her head. I don't know if Chris Rock knew that. If he did know it, it's a really bad taste joke. If he didn't know it, then I really don't blame him for the joke. But Will Smith walked up there and smacked Chris Rock, came down, yelled out a few obscenities, and that was it. What comes to mind is, and Howard Stern mentioned this, that many years ago we saw Janet Jackson get really, really bombed and banned from ever participating in the Super Bowl when she exposed a breast. And here we are, we saw Will Smith assault Chris Rock on live television, and nothing happened. He was not escorted out of the building. He was not arrested. Nothing of the sort. Everybody just sat there and life went on as usual. Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, Tyler Perry, they kind of calmed Will Smith down. And he stayed in the audience, got his award, went up there and teary-eyed apologized to the Academy. He did not apologize to Chris Rock. Will Smith has been pursuing this Oscar for many, many years. And this was his big night. I look at it as there was many ways of handling it. I understand you want to defend your wife. That's the natural instinct that men have. I think that was pressuring him to, or what pushed him to do this was a few things. Number one, in his own book, he says that he's ashamed of never having stood up for his mom. So now here he is, he gets a chance to stand up for his wife and to show the whole world that he's not some just little punk, that he's not a coward. Number two, he was laughing at the joke himself until he saw Jada's face and she was hurt. So he picked up on the joke. When he saw her hurt, he went over there and did what he did. So it's kind of like a snap judgment for him to go ahead and do that. I think that Will Smith has had a very emotional year, very stressed out. Many people have commented on how Will Smith is, I hate to use the word, whitewashed black man who's succeeded because he seems wholesome when he used to do rap back in the day. He's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they see him as a person who has a sense of entitlement as to where he is. And that could be very, very, very unfair. I think Will Smith has earned everything he has, and it is what it is. But I guess it hurts him. That's just a speculation of mine. Outside of that, he did apologize. He did all of that, but a lot of people are wondering, why was it that security didn't block him from rushing up on stage? Now, when he smacked Chris Rock, I was a little puzzled that Chris Rock did not fight back. When I saw the video again, I noticed that Chris Rock saw him approaching him and said, uh-oh, here comes Richard, alluding to Richard Williams, the character that Chris Rock played in the movie, King Richard. And when Will Smith smacked him and walked away, Chris Rock said, oh, I just got smacked by Will Smith and all this. And until the moment that Will Smith screamed at him, it seemed that Chris Rock thought, just like us, well, we thought it was staged. The audience thought it was staged, but he probably thought that Will Smith was going along with a joke and doing something there. So he was kind of playing along with it, which is why I think Will Smith was able to walk away and sit down. Chris Rock, from that point, had a decision to make. Go on with the show, go out there and kick Will Smith's butt if he could, or just storm off the stage, or maybe yell a few other things. I have to give him credit for keeping his composure and being able to continue with a couple of more jokes and then present the award for documentary. The bad thing is that the documentarians that won the award went up there to give their speeches, but nobody was paying attention to them. Everybody was talking about or thinking about Will Smith and Chris Rock. That's my take on the whole thing. Now, how could Will Smith have handled this differently? Well, he could have not done what he did. He could have sat there and not laughed. And then perhaps later on approach Chris Rock and say, hey, that was uncalled for. You crossed the line. You shouldn't have done that. I don't appreciate it. Or when he won the award, he could have given some awareness to the disease, the condition that his wife had, mention it. He had the worldwide audience to listen to that and say, some jokes, they may be funny, but they're not funny to everybody. He could have done a number of things. And if he really wants to fight, he could have told Chris Rock, I'll wait for you after the show outside. I mean, that's another way of handling it. But to take the high road, if you are an Academy Award nominee, and by this point, Chris Rock has been in roasts. He has been in many, many audiences and talk shows. He knows what comics are like. He knows they go for the jugular when they make their jokes. You have to find a way to laugh through these things and just roll with the punches. I'm not saying he has to laugh along with everybody else. He could sit there and frown. And again, he could address this to Chris Rock later, or when he made a speech, or when he went outside, or even tomorrow, meaning today. He could have waited and made his statement that, it is a condition that women have, men have too, and that it affects self-esteem greatly, and he did not appreciate the joke. That would have been fine. But anyway, lots of thoughts are out there. That's my take on it. I don't really have that much else to add. Everybody's throwing out memes and doing things like that. And it's sad because Will Smith has been chasing this Oscar for so many years. He finally got it. But unfortunately, by his acting the way he acted, he kind of ruined his great moment. He didn't get the moment. I wonder if he went to the after party. I wonder if he spoke to Chris Rock afterwards. I did hear that Chris Rock said he would not press charges. But the Los Angeles Police Department does not need Chris Rock to press charges. I mean, they saw the assault. Nobody has arrested Will Smith. And if you want a better example of entitlement, think about it this way. You are able to get on a stage, slap somebody, assault them, go back and sit down, and they're not going to come over and arrest you. If that was you or me, we would be picked up and ganged up by the police and dragged away in no time. Will Smith knew they weren't going to lay a finger on him. That just adds to the sense of entitlement that we feel that he has. So, in essence, he should have known better. He should have acted better. And I don't approve of what he did. I understand his being upset. I understand him being angry. And we're all entitled to those moments. But when we go to a award show like this, you have to be prepared to know what to expect. So, let's just say the emotions got the best of him. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I'll also say that at least he was big enough to apologize to the Academy and to his fellow nominees. But he did not apologize to Chris Rock. And that's kind of telling. I'll leave it at that in your hands. That's my 2 cents. And go ahead and send me your comments or your likes, or better yet, subscribe. This is Cool Talk Talks.